Welcome, Leo. Let's get going on your November 2020 reading. Thank you so much for being here on the Journey with Nicole YouTube channel. We're going to get right into it. And we're going to start with the Starman Tarot. What's that throwing out there? The Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups trying to jump out already. What messages does Spirit and the tarot cards have for Leo for November 2020? What messages? What messages for Leo November 2020? The Alien. This is the third one that's come up. So everybody needs to go in hermit mode, I think, in November. Like, we really need to be any more hermits around here, right? So the Alien is about contemplation within, going within, seclusion, and Two of Swords. Two of Swords is usually about taking the blinders off and looking at your possibilities. Eight of Cups. I love it. I love it. Eight of Cups, Leo. Leo, and of course you got to have a Nine of Pentacles in there. Wow, this is beautiful. This is beautiful, Leo. So it's going to be a little hard for you to go have some hermit time in November. So I can see right now you've got a lot of beautiful, wonderful opportunities for you. You are a little blinded right now in your two options. You have two options, and it's either way is good. It really is no good or evil. Like in this one, it's a black pearl and a snake. So it's not good or evil. They're just awesome opportunities. You take your blindfold off so you can see where you're going with it. You're not going to be able to see it until you have a clearer vision. So don't make that decision quite yet. But then you've got the Eight of Cups here, and look, he's just like, oh, I'm just all tormented. What decision do I make, right? Well, really, if you look at it, it's basically abundant opportunities. So each one of those cups is in a very wonderful spot. One's in a gold safe, one's got fire around it, one's in a enclosed case. It's just all these opportunities. You have lots of opportunities here, which is probably why Spirit is telling you right off the bat the immediate past and the immediate present situation is to take some quiet time and alone time for all this contemplation, because with all these amazing opportunities, you have the Nine of Pentacles here, which is about pure abundance. And this is one of my favorite cards in this deck. I'm going to see if you can see. She's so beautiful, and she's just like abundant with life. She's grounded. She's got some excellent earth energy about her, and she's connected with animal spirit, and she has all these amazing opportunities, full of financial abundance. Lots of financial abundance here. So Leo, I think the biggest challenge is going to be for you to go within and have that contemplation time, because you've got all these opportunities with these amazing possibilities, and you might get a little confused if you don't take that time before these all come up, because with the Two of Swords, you're going to have to make that one decision very quickly. You're going to have to move, and then once you do make that decision, then that's when the Eight of Cups comes in. And I'm going to go ahead and read a couple lines from the Eight of Cups from the book. I think you'll like it. But I'm going to pull in some liquid crystal energy here, Leo, for November 2020. And if you happen to have any of these crystals with you or around you, around your house, these are the crystals that can definitely benefit you for the month of November. So I suggest you try to get some if you can. Celestial quartz. It's all about angelic truth. Angelic truth, which I believe is part of your hermit and alien phase. I think you're going to really receive some amazing insight when you have that contemplation time. I don't think it's going to be a confusing time. That's where you're going to receive all of your information to be able to have this abundance, like in the Nine of Pentacles. I'm going to pull one more liquid crystal, and then we're going to look at this Starman Tarot. Hematite, which is about spiritual grounding, which is once again earth energy here. We have, and what is really cool about this is these are both at the top and the bottom of the root chakra. So you have the root chakra, or of the chakra. So you have the root chakra, and then you have the top, your top chakra, your crown chakra. So it's actually, this is actually higher than the crown chakra. So you have the absolute extremes here. So, but if you see with the hematite, you can see it even has the chakra colors on it. So you are being called for some grounding here. And I am going to grab the Eight of Cups because I want you to hear this. Eight of Cups. I seek answers to life's big questions. Turning your back on what is known, embarking on a journey, a quest. Return to nature and listen to her wisdom. See, that's why you have all this earth energy here. You are definitely, when you go into hermit mode with this alien card, you need to go into nature. And in fact, this is the one that looks like Sedona. So if you, I would highly suggest, if you've never been to Sedona, Arizona, that's the best place you're going to be able to find connection to any spirit, is going to Sedona. But regardless, you're being called to get in touch with nature here. Return to nature and listen to her wisdom. So let's see. This, the cities we inhabit and the tasks we are called upon to do are also nature. Our lives, just as they are, constantly offer us guidance, wisdom, and healing. For the most part, we are just too busy or preoccupied to stop and take note, receive the learning, and allow ourselves to be transformed into more effective and heart-centered people. In my, I'm going to skip that part. The Eight of Cups suggests there is much wisdom and guidance to be gained whenever you are, wherever you are, if it's your intention. Creating sacred space to sit in nature, away from the habit rhythm of life, may also be very valuable. You not only need to get alone, but you need to get alone in nature. Whereas, which is different than the other signs that we're called to go within. This one is very clear that it has to do, because the Nine of Pentacles, she's like the mother goddess of the deck. So basically, with the spiritual grounding and with the angelic truth, it all comes down to the two choices that you have with your Two of Swords. And with these two choices, you'll find the balance with your grounding right here. So I'm going to go ahead and pull. Since it's nature, we're going to grab the Nature Matters cards here and see what kind of information we have for the Leo for November 2020. Maybe we can get some clarification on the Two of Swords. See what the Two of Swords might, what decisions you're being called to. Because you know the Eight of Cups, you know that's going to be great. You know the Nine of Pentacles is going to work out very financially secure for you. So if we can find out what you need to do with this Two of Swords, that could give you a little bit of direction. Let's take this here. Inner truth. Inner truth. Look at that. That's all about trees, which is interesting because a lot of these cards have water elements, but I find it interesting that you keep getting, because look at this one. This is, she's like actually inside a tree in this one. So you just have a lot of nature caves. Like, look at all these caves and trees. That's where you're being called to. These caves, trees, nature. Let's see if we can get some more clarifiers here. And maybe that is part of the Two of Swords. Maybe that's one of the decisions you have to make. Maybe it's nature based. And if one of your choices has to do with nature, then you're definitely getting the sign here that nature is your choice to go that route. And look, then you get the intuition card. So I think with this grounding and this, and you're on this little spiritual journey with yourself, but the spiritual journey is actually based on your connection to nature. So the more that you can connect with nature, the more that your Nine of Pentacles is going to show up. In fact, let's just read this so you can get an idea of how incredibly beautiful this card is. I love this card. I am in charge of my own destiny. And then it says, you are in charge of your destiny and what you believe you deserve. Know your gifts and accept them. The time is now to manifest your dreams into this world. So, and then over here it says, you have been designed by nature to naturally flourish and ripen into this delicious fruit. You have earned this badge of mastery and accomplishment, fueled by the intrinsic rewards of doing what you love with great talent and skill. Stand and receive the recognition and acknowledgement. Your success inspires others, and like the fruit, the lush vehicle that forms to disperse the seed, the next generation is motivated. The Nine of Pentacles therefore invites you to think beyond limitations and live outside the borders and restrictions of life. Ask yourself, what would be a truly amazing experience to manifest for yourself right now? So I think this is so amazing, but it really does start here. So I feel like with the little bit of the spiritual journey that, and this, since this is in the immediate past and the very present, it's, chances are you've just recently, like very recently, just come to a new type of enlightenment, and maybe you went out in nature and you found your connection with nature and it became a spiritual experience. And that's not silly at all, because that's where most of my spiritual experiences happen, when I'm in nature. So because there's this the angelic crystals here and the intuition, it makes me feel like you, even though you had that wonderful experience, you're still being called to go out more in nature. And I know that it does have something to do with your Two of Swords, and that's when you'll have to take your blinders off to really see your two choices that you're gonna have to make here, and some decisions that you're gonna have to make. Let's go ahead and pull in a White Sage Tarot, Leo, and see what's going on. We're gonna get just any qualifiers maybe of the Two of Swords, any qualifying information here that we have for Leo. Leo for November 2020. Let's see here. Ace of Swords. Okay, so you've got some good, you've got a really good idea about something, and you have been on the fence if you wanted to do it, and that's why the Two of Swords came in. So you have this really great idea, and I'm gonna really think that it has something to do with nature. And this idea, and I think the Two of Swords is where you're just a little bit torn, because the one that probably relates more to nature probably isn't going to be as financially rewarding, or so you think, but you got the Nine of Pentacles here. So since this Nine of Pentacles is telling you, if you wanted to, whatever your Ace of Swords was, your initial decision that you wanted, what you wanted to do, that's one of these two swords of the Two of Swords. And that choice of what you want to do is definitely related to nature and your spiritual connection with nature. But it looks like you're still going to need some hermit time or some alien time to contemplate these, because the Two of Swords is such a major decision, and it is a big deciding factor. I just want to throw a couple cards here. This deck right here I've had for over 20 years, and the first 10 years I gave myself a reading on it every day. So I'm very connected with these cards, and sometimes we just speak with each other. So I want to just get a clarifier on the Two of Swords, please. Fairies can tell me a little more information on the Two of Swords. Okay, so there's some deep healing. The inner child comes up with the Hermit card, and it's more of a, it doesn't mean, I shouldn't say deep healing. It's more of a childhood feeling that you've always had that now needs to be expressed. So something that you have, and this could be one of your two of your swords, is something that has to do on an immature level, and maybe that's why you're not wanting to move forward with it. But if it touches your inner child, then that is a green light to go ahead and go for it and follow your dreams on that level. And it doesn't matter if that's the case. Let's get one more. And then the sexuality card. That usually comes up when there's some kind of relationship. I'm not really seeing that here. So this looks like something maybe from, with the inner child and the sexuality card, if the Two of Swords, it might just have something to do with some healing from childhood. There might be some issues here, and that might be why you needed to have such alone time with the alien and the Hermit card. Those cards don't come up very often, and that's what that would tell me, is there's some kind of childhood issue there on a sexual level. So if that resonates with you, I don't know. There's Two of Swords, and this is it just seems to be a very different decision. Like one way is very extreme this way, and one way is very extreme the other way. So I'm gonna get one more there. And then vacation, which is all about nature. Anytime this card comes up, it's always related to getting out in nature. So I have a feeling that that's your next step, and that you need to continue doing that. And I think that's where you're gonna find your major choice here, because we've got a lot of, your inner truth and your intuition with this spiritual grounding and this little bit of this new spiritual awakening. You've just come to some new enlightenment in your life, and now it's time to put it in full gear, because you have all the green lights here for success. You have the Nine of Pentacles, and everything is going to turn out perfect. So I wish you well. I hope this resonated with you. Please hit the like button if you want to subscribe to my channel. Hit the subscribe. Make sure it's gray and not red. And feel free to DM me on Instagram or email me at journeywithnicole if you'd like a personal reading. Thank you so much, and peace out.